When divorce became legal in the United Kingdom without regard to fault, it was such a revolutionary moment because there was no longer a prerequisite for a good reason. This could possibly push the divorce rate to rise. It seems incredible that the United Kingdom did not begin doing this until 40 or 50 years later after the rest of the Western world. Sexual revolutionaries are correct. The monogamous marriage framework has numerous flaws. However, it is the best solution we have so far. The primary duty of the father, according to traditional customs, was to provide financial support for the family, while the woman's primary responsibility was to look after the children at home. Because it now requires less time to run a family, it is more practical for mothers with young children to work outside the home, which is the case for the majority of women. However, single mothers must strive to successfully perform the roles of mother and father at the same time. And to do this is nearly impossible, especially on low pay. This difficulty is worsened by the fact that single mothers frequently have to work outside the home. With this, a single woman cannot provide for and raise a happy and healthy family on her own. So, what does she do with her free time? She begins by asserting that feminists are both correct and incorrect about marriage, and then she claims that weddings are too costly in today's world to the point where partners cannot marry until they have saved up enough for a grand ceremony. It is predicted that the likelihood of divorce between parents who have never married is nearly twice as high as the likelihood of divorce between married parents. When this happens, the children must choose between growing up in a home with just one parent or moving in with one of the step-parents, most commonly the stepfather. When we hear something like that, isn't it that the only thing that comes to mind is, would someone please consider the children too? She wants these men to marry for the sake of the children and the welfare of the ladies. But what about the man who puts himself in danger of being abused in the divorce process and had his life destroyed as a result of his actions? She wishes for these men to marry. Doesn't this seem to be aimed at humiliating men who live in common law partnerships, unmarried, but have children? Does anyone else hear what this sounds like? It definitely is targeting men. It appears that a sizable number of women have either came at an epiphany that their adult children are an embarrassment and they will not be helpful idiots or utilities to them in the future, or that they have accepted the fact that they will be forced to spend their entire lives as single mothers in impoverished circumstances. Both of these options are viable. They are in grave danger and require immediate assistance, but no one will be coming to save them. They appear to have a need for a male utility. They are working hard so that they can use the money they make to provide a better life for themselves and their children. If this is the case, the question of why the mainstream media is suddenly concerned about rising birth rates is as follows. Is it because of the difficulties that women face in raising their children on their own? Is it possible that the government's desire to encourage more people of British heritage to have more children is motivated by low fertility rates? If so, this would be a fascinating theory. At the very core of all of these, it appears to be a desire to dominate men in order to free the government of the financial responsibility of supporting single parents, particularly single mothers. When something goes wrong, women are quick to point the finger at others. They frequently avoid accepting personal responsibility for their actions. If our society is to reclaim even a sliver of the old normalcy it once possessed, the wisest course of action would be to restore accountability to its rightful owners, the women. When things are going well, it is the woman who is given the credit. When things go wrong, however, the guy bears the brunt of the blame. This makes accepting responsibility for one's actions more difficult for men. Males will stop participating in games with predetermined results after a certain amount of time, and that's when they go their own way. That is something that both the society and a substantial percentage of the world's ignorant people have failed to recognize. Males, according to modern feminists, want and need sexual diversity. The typical beta is content to spend his entire life with the same woman and has no desire to pursue relationships with other women. It's possible that only the men they truly find attractive believe this. If they believe that the only thing men want is sexual diversity and that this is why we aren't marrying, They clearly do not understand men. They appear to fall into the same trap as other women, namely, viewing males as machines that add value to the lives of women and children in the capacity of utilities. This is what women are crying and begging for men to return to their roles as servants to women and children. And she is attempting to dupe us into doing so by instilling guilt in us in order to persuade us to marry to make us feel bad. Like the poor men on the Titanic who sacrificed their seats and their lives for the sake of the women and children. All I have to say to feminists out there is to return to men when you're ready to make some real progress and have all of the girls work together to overrule the rights granted to women so that in return, they get the male attention and provision they want. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the new videos that come out that are all just for you. See you in the next video of Superior Mentor.